Today I'll talk about past life effects on our current lives because they are bypass the veil and their impacts are huge. I'll talk about them with the exceptions and with some examples that either from my life or from the people that I know, so we can really see that the real life cases. The list is very long actually, so I decided instead of making one long, very long video, I'm gonna make it in 2 pieces or maybe even 3. There is something very interesting. We don't start a new life like a blank canvas. I mean, why not? Just start a baby, do the baby things, learn, experience, and go from there. But we actually bring a lot of information from past lives. Like, really, there is a lot of leakage, and then we know it, we feel it, we just don't label it. And plus, which I will talk about more details, but plus some people already remember some past lives, when they just come here. It's before they're talking about that the veil is thick, and then we forget everything when we come here, and the veil is thinning, but that's not 100% true. So something that if it's possible that some people already come with this information, not forget everything 100%. And then if we also have a lot of effect in our current life, which we just don't label it as a past life, or we don't, maybe some people, don't believe it, so it just looks strange. But so it means that there is a bypass the veil. These are all the bypass. So why not more? And then why not, we have more effects, more information from the beginning, and why not everybody is not experiencing? I'm thinking that maybe this can convert it to a technique, and then we can learn that way more. Yeah, of course, like the past life regression, that we get a lot of information from there, and also Akashic Records reading. But it seems like we can already have a lot more information also by ourselves too. When I go to the hypnosis and then learn information, then looking at my current life, I says, oh my god, this is related with this too, and this is related too. It's very interesting. And then the next question comes to my mind, well, so what is if I know all my past lives, and if I can connect everything with them, and if I peel them from myself, what left from me, just as authentic, right? The first is the past life effects to our bodies. Yeah, I took notes because I mean, this is not my first in-person video. I thought that after a few it will be easier to make it, but it's not getting easier. I'm sorry. I have to try to make my life a little bit easier, so I took some notes and I'm looking at, because when I forget it, and then in the editing in the next day I was like, oh no, and then go all over again. The past life effect on our bodies is the health issues. It can be lifelong, any sickness, disease, symptoms, anything. And of course it doesn't mean that, you know, all the health issues related with the past lives, but there's a possibility. So I know someone, then I looked at the her under a deep meditation. So I saw a few past lives. She had a lifelong symptom, and then when I saw, especially the first one was very intense, because I was like seeing like a video, but I was also feeling it. I was feeling like a deep fear. In that time, in that lifetime, she was a man with a group of men in the event, and me, that it was not my past life, that I felt that intense. I was not there even, you know, looking from here to that life and being in that moment and then being that person. How much fear she had, I mean, I should say he had in that life. So carrying those emotions to this lifetime, and then there were a few more, and then they all caused that lifelong health issue in this lifetime. Then I started to really believe that our emotions has really big impact on our lives. I mean, I know that my university years, they were so stressful. It was very difficult university, everything, and so my GI track become very sensitive because of that fear, and you know, I have to finish this university. How am I gonna do it? It's just so intense. I know that part, but they really, like, the emotions really can turn to a disease, sickness, weakness. You know, the body gets weak. That's that, and then carrying that to next lifetimes is like really huge. And I wonder, because I saw it, you know, I felt it, but how it would be if someone experiences those lifetimes again, you know, under hypnosis and or deep meditation or somehow, and then if they all, you know, they can release something in this lifetime, that those sicknesses or symptoms can be, you know, like a totally disappear. There was someone else I talked to, had in extreme pain, like really extreme pain, and under hypnosis she saw comes from actually past life. After so the pain is gone. That's what she said. I'm sorry, I can't, you know, I don't want to give so much details for, you know, for the privacy, but so the impact is really big. We see the result, we see the end of the story here in this lifetime, but it didn't start it here. And of course it doesn't mean that every disease, sickness, every, you know, the health issues comes from the past life. Maybe not, maybe, you know, so many from this lifetime too, but it's, you know, it's actually a question mark, and it's probably, it's a good idea just to try, if anything related, especially the things that just you know, gives a lot of impact in this lifetime, and then, you know, like nobody can figure out what it is. Why not, you know? The other one is The other effect from past lives to this lifetime is phobias. So I personally have the experience. I have a water phobia, but that was I am still, but when I was kid, I was like really a lot more. Like if a one drop of water touches my face, I was screaming that I'm dying. I was asking help, but it's like in seconds, and suddenly I was feeling that like a ton on my chest, like ton of weight on my chest, crashing. I cannot breathe, and I'm terrified. So I was trying to breathe and then scream at the same time. It was like I cannot breathe, and then it's like I was like, help me, like, and of course it didn't make sense, but it was torture to take a bath, of course. But one day I was so scared of the water, actually I hypnotized myself by mistake. I didn't know what it was, and I saw that I died in Titanic. So I saw all those the last moments, and then the something from the ship fell on my chest. So that was apparently I was feeling it, and it's I can say like maybe 70% of it's gone, not 100%, but it was not with professional past life regression person that helped me, to go through. So I just by myself. But the other part, the interesting part, is that the in Akashic records, and the practitioner told me that I also died in Atlantis. The waves were huge. I was fighting and I died. So the water phobia also comes from there. I didn't see it, so I didn't feel it. If I see it, I don't know if it's 100% I believe. Another past life effect on our bodies is the birthmarks. They can be any size and shapes and anywhere. It can be brown tones or pinkish, reddish. It doesn't mean that, of course, all the birthmarks related with the past lives, but if there is a birthmark, there is a possibility. I know someone, she had like a big splash brown around the eye area, the birthmark. When she was a teenager and in 20s, and she was using a cream to whiten and then get lighter that area. And of course in those years, we didn't believe in the past lives, there was no such a thing. Years passed, I somehow, actually, it's really Nostradamus. In those days, the internet was not like this, so I was making a research about the Nostradamus, and the first maybe like 3-4 pages later, there was not so much information. So internet in those years was bringing some related information, but not directly related to what you were searching. So one of the pages, you see the title, and then there is on the bottom, like there's a paragraph explaining. Over there it was saying 51% of the Americans believe in past lives. I was like, what you're talking about? So I clicked it, I started reading, and then there was like a long list and saying if you have this symptoms, all these things, you have the past lives, and that's how I started. Then I talked to her, I said that, do you have this, maybe this is past life. She didn't believe in, has no intention to do anything. Then more years passed, and one day one of her friends gave her a CD for the past life regression. She tried, and she said that she saw, actually she was a soldier and died. It was nighttime, she was just in the last moment, and so that was actually the gunshot residue. And it was the war was, I think, in early 1900s. So then she started believing. Of course, she saw it. The interesting also other point, that when she was very small, she was saying that I'm a boy, I'm going to the army, and she always just wanted to dress like a boy. Then we learned, because she was a soldier, but she willing to, go to the war apparently. Then, but it doesn't mean that the all the past lives will have the birthmark left on our bodies either. I have a past life. I learned that I was killed with the poisoned arrow. I saw it under the hypnosis. I saw it, I felt it, but I don't have a birthmark there, or I don't have a, like, let's say, arrow phobia or poison phobia. So it's not always the case. And like for example, I very recently learned that I died by burning, but I don't have a fire phobia either. And then there's water phobia. Yes, Titanic is much closer date to this lifetime, but and also Atlantis was very far, so I think the timing is not the issue. I mean, the impact is not just the lifetimes that closer to this lifetime. It can be any time, but I think the most important thing is how much impact they had in that time. That do we carry. The other past life effect on our bodies is disability. This says two groups. The first one is the picking a disabled body is like jumping faster, having like more difficult life experiences. I remember between lives before coming here, and then I got the long list of the families to choose which family I will coming. And then there were a lot of very poor, like in poverty families with lots of kids. So I was confused and I was very upset to see, and I said, everybody wants the best, like why I have this list. Angel, I believe he was an Angel, he said that's not always the case, and start explaining why. And because I was so angry, I actually didn't listen to him, but I just remember this part. So this is really true that we can't, it doesn't mean that we always pick up the best of the best families on our list to come here. Apparently, we can pick, like really, really difficult conditions. So it means that if somebody picks up a disabled body, it means that actually that person chose that before coming here for a reason. Probably, passing like a really difficult classes kind of thing. wanna, like a really jump, but of course it's very difficult. The other option for the disabilities, this is related with the karma. It's like, somebody did something, maybe didn't get the punishment this lifetime or death or karma, however, and then pays and back in the next lifetime. And so like serial killer maybe came this lifetime in very bad conditions. But of course, when we just know, like look at from this lifetime and not knowing anything, we cannot know what was the case. And this is my question. I'm just wondering, very impactful life that I had in the past. I learned that I had red hair. In this lifetime, I also, when I was a kid, I also had the red hair. Not then got darker, but so I was wondering some other features we actually comes, from the previous lives, like something still from there. I'm moving from the past life effects on body to the emotions. So this is really about like being triggered crazily, love something crazily, or hate, or like a disgust or strong dislike. So this can be anything. It can be a person, it can be a place, a time, event, situation, food, like anything can be subject to that. The point is actually the intensity. For example, there is a one person and he did something wrong, and then we are angry, and then we are right. Whatever it happened, we are right to be angry, and it was wrong. So we are feeling angry, okay? But if that is like more extreme, like if we got that anger like a very quick and much deeper than the cause itself, and so that's clue that maybe we have connection in past life with that person, and especially if that person shouldn't be in our lifetime now, this time, and somehow we are just stuck. We just cannot get rid of that person. So that can be past life. Yeah, actually I know someone like that, but I better not to talk. Yeah, turning my life hell. Yes, I mean her energy is so heavy. She sinks my energy. She like sinks the whole house atmosphere energy. I can almost hear when she talks to me with her inner voice. Like I can almost hear it. So, I mean, I'm so sensitive to her. She is even not speaking English. So I, believe that I have a past life connection, something somewhere there. Or, for example, opposite, crazy love, like meeting someone and then fall in love in the first split second. I had experience like that. I met someone. He was actually love of my life. I crazily love him. We were on and off for 5 years, and then when he broke up with me, I thought that I will lose my mind. I was feeling physical pain, like I feel like my muscles will split from my bones. That physical pain, like just splitting, like that pain in my chest. Not just emotionally, my body was physically feeling that pain, and it was devastating. Like that I cannot even describe. And of course, when he come back, I was like the happiest ever. I met him when I was 28. Then he's my ex-boyfriend now. I don't see him. Very recently, actually, I learned that we were together in a past life. And when I died in the past life, I was 28. So it's kind of like left there and then continue here. Yeah, I actually didn't know that there is a very significant connection and with him in that past life, that I will make a separate video to go more details. But for now, what I can say that how to deal to losing him is I do the same thing what I did after my dad passed away. I mean, not of course, immediately took 3 years for me to come up with this idea. I call it as a technique. I'm not saying it's fair, but that's how I deal. So for my dad, I said that if I never had a daddy, and so I will never have any memories with him, and I cannot love someone that's not existed. I cannot miss someone that not existed. So I basically decided that I never had a daddy. That's how I survived after he died. So I did the same thing for my ex-boyfriend. That's how to, never existed, so never loved and no memories, and life keeps going. If you have any technique how to deal with the losing the loved ones, like to survive basically, yeah, write below. Let's share, anything that you want to share. Because it's life, it's unfortunately it's happening. And hate, or disgust, dislike, the strong dislike, this is, I think, if you read it on the internet, it says that if you love something, like anything, from the people to the places and time and clothes and foods and everything, you had a very happy life in there. Or if you hate some, places, let's say, and then you probably died very badly or you had very bad lifetimes there. But I think there is an exception for this, because I crazily love Ireland. I love that old Irish songs. Like, I totally disconnect from the current life, like in split second. It just so much love. But I was killed in Ireland, so I mean, I had good life there until I was killed. But I also has a big hate and dislike, disgust, the Ottoman Empire. And I learned from the Akashic records, now I didn't see it on the hypnosis, but Akashic records said that I was also killed by them, so that makes sense. So I think there's more in that story, like why there's some exceptions. Today is this much, and it seems like I will make 2 more videos about the past life effects in this lifetime. So bye for now.